No, introduce yourself to me. Just tell me.
I'm Johnie McGlade. I'm the founder of No Strings International. We are now in our fifth year, believe it or not. We've got 4 or 5 programs going. Started in Afghanistan, and now we're working in the Philippines, Indonesia, East Timor, and we've just completed a workshop in East Africa. So we've got a HIV/AIDS project developed for sub-Saharan Africa, but launched in East Africa.
Tell me how it all started, Johnny.
It actually started, the idea probably crept into my mind, I would have thought, back in the early 90s when I worked with an Irish NGO called Go, and I was in southern Sudan, and what I brought in with me was a puppet which I got in the Cayman Islands called Seamus. It was my party piece, very much a party piece, and I'm no puppeteer, but at that particular time it was something which I could fool around with. Brought it into the field as I knew that at night it would be a source of entertainment for other co-workers. But we realised very quickly when I went into the various feeding centres in southern Sudan at the time that there was this instant impact with the kids. Now, these kids were suffering from severe malnutrition, pretty sick kids, but the minute Seamus the Puppet came in, there was this kind of beam of light, and we discovered very early on I was able to, I suppose, organise certain things in the feeding centres in that certain lines were created because they'd listen to the puppet. They wouldn't necessarily listen to me or my Sudanese advisors, etc. But the minute the puppet came out, everything just seemed to work, you know. But at that stage, I mean, you know, my backdrop in humanitarian aid is very much emergency, so I work with Goal and then followed by Wardchild was very much emergency. So this particular idea was put in the back burner, always there, until I went to Afghanistan post 9/11. Again, puppet came out, organised various queues for our bread distribution. We had a field bakery which we set up in Western Afghanistan, and various photographs were taken. Went back home, and my flatmate in London saw one of the photographs with me with Seamus, and she went, "What are you doing with the puppet, Johnny?" And I went, "Well, this is something which I always bring with me, and it seems to kind of help the work which we're doing, strange enough." And she says, "You're not going to believe this, but my aunt and uncle are the co-creators of the Muppet Show, and for years they've been trying to involve themselves in work in the developing world." So I said, "You've got to be kidding me, I've got to meet them." So literally that month I flew to New York, met Kathy and Michael, and we decided pretty much early on that if we were going to do something linked to puppetry in the developing world, we'd have to set up our own NGO. So pretty much, I guess about 3 or 4 months after that, I registered No Strings in the UK, and our first project was back in Afghanistan, landmine awareness. And it's
Where's Seamus now?
Seamus is in tatters. Seamus, my mother bloody put him in the washing machine. Can you believe it? And I saw her doing it too. She was talking to the puppet. Seamus, she says, "You need a washing." I used to be in Seamus back from the field, you know, and my buddies in the bar, was when I used to be in my party piece, they wouldn't go near him because he thought he was carrying disease and stuff, you know. "He's got typhoid, no, he's got cholera." I said, "Don't be ridiculous, it's a puppet." So my mother put him into the washing machine. He's never been the same since. And I've tried to get Kathy and Mike and the team to kind of see if they can bring him back to life, but no. But they have developed another puppet for me, specifically for the field, called Hamish. And Hamish is still active, and Hamish has been everywhere. Rwanda, Burundi, Sudan, he's been everywhere as well. So he's, I suppose, my kind of hand puppet, even though I'm still not anywhere near to finding myself as a puppeteer. And if I'm in the field with the puppeteers, I certainly don't put a puppet on because it's just, you know, embarrassing. These other guys, you know.
So, Seamus, we salute you.
Seamus is still, yeah, Seamus is, we still got him, he's a ball, basically. Bundle.
Johnie McGlade of No Strings, thank you very much.
You're more than welcome.